Hi, continuing the theme of Mental Health Awareness Week, from me that most mental health problems for most people are unnecessary. Today I'm talking about panic. I think panic has to be one of the best examples of something being entirely unnecessary. Panic is your catastrophically intense response, or your body's catastrophically intense response to the feeling that you're going to be annihilated, that you need to fight for survival. Trouble is, if you look around, there is no threat. Now, recall there are two realities. There's external reality and there's internal reality. Your body is responding as if there is an external reality threat, as if an axe murderer or someone's going to come and kill you, and it releases that huge rush of adrenaline and other stress hormones so that you can fight for survival or run. The trouble is, there is no external reality threat that requires that huge release of energy for you to be able to fight to survive. The threat is an entirely internal reality threat, and therefore, because there's no external threat, your body does not need this rush of energy to be able to survive. So it's the ultimate kind of trick that your brain plays on you. Now, in fairness, it's not entirely your brain's fault. You've been winding yourself up and you've been generating anxiety, because panic is actually a pinnacle, it's a peak. It's like the top of the mountain. It's the snow on the top of the mountain of anxiety. It's a massive anxiety rush. I agree and I understand that panic feels like you're going to die. Almost everyone who has a panic attack feels like they're going to die, and many people go off to hospital, etc. But first thing to realize is that panic is not dangerous. It's simply an elevated physiological response. Often it's out of the blue, and I've even heard of people having panic attacks. Well, I've met people who've had panic attacks in bed, which tells you it's an entirely internal reality response. But once you've had your first panic attack, what often happens is you start making decisions about your external reality life to avoid having another panic attack. And that means you start making decisions based on fear. And when you make decisions based on fear, which of course is the emotion that underpins anxiety and panic, you're typically making poor decisions. Because if you take fear far enough, if you make decisions based on fear to the nth degree, you end up in your bedroom, you end up in a closet with a cup of tea. You end up not doing stuff. You end up making all sorts of kind of crazy decisions that restrict your life until it gets smaller and smaller, until you can kind of feel safe in what bit of external reality you have left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you the answer to panic. I'm going to give you the actual answer. And if you're in any kind of decent therapy, you'd get to this answer. But it's typically a journey to get to the answer, because even though I tell you the answer to panic, unless you take the journey to get there, it'll be hard for you to apply it. So anyway, this is the answer. This is the solution, the ultimate solution to panic. Without fear, you can't have panic. Now, your fear is internally generated. It's created by you. It's created by your internal reality. It's created by your brain. Oftentimes, it's just habitual programs, mental programs that run, okay? But if you take the fear away, you can't have a panic attack. A panic attack is your physiological response to the emotion of fear. So if you stop being frightened of having a panic attack, you can't have one. That's paradoxical, isn't it? If you actually stop being frightened of having a panic attack, you can't have one. It's impossible to have a panic attack if you're not winding yourself up to be fearful. Now, it's difficult just to do that, to apply that principle, because of course it's kind of feels alien, right? So you've got to stop avoiding stuff. You've got to say, really, right, yeah, I'll have a panic attack. Yeah, bring it on. Yeah, bring it on. I genuinely want to have a panic attack. Come on, do it. Let's bring it on. You can't have it. No way. So that's the answer. How you get there is a different matter. And that's why I developed the first Panic Pit Stop program, which is now inside Anxiety Wizard. So if you want to learn, or if you want to take the journey to get to the point where you can say, yeah, I'll have a panic attack, I don't care, bring it on, no problem at all. If you only get to that point where it's impossible to have a panic attack, then the way to do it is to work through the Anxiety Wizard program. So panic is the ultimate brain trick in many respects, because it's like a prehistoric response in a modern world, prehistoric physiological response in a modern world, because actually there is no external threat. in your life that requires a fight or flight response. I hope you found this interesting. Thanks for taking the time to watch and listen.